From Azul Cosmetic Surgery and Medical Spa, Dr. Patrick Flaherty wants to meet you. He's got a couple seminars coming up. And believe it or not, we're already looking at May. So this first one is going to be May 12th, 6 p.m. This is going to be in his Fort Myers office. He does have 2 offices. He does like you to call and make a reservation. So there's the number to call and do that. And then the second one coming up May 19th, this is at 6 p.m., but at his Bonita Springs office. Again, he does like for you to make a reservation, though, so there is the number to call. He would love to see you. In the meantime, here's what he wants to chat with you about this morning. From Azul Cosmetic Surgery and Medical Spa, we're so happy to welcome back to the show once again, Dr. Patrick Flaherty. Good morning.
Morning, Carly.
It's a happy time. We're going to talk about happiness this morning.
Yes.
And believe it or not, what cosmetic surgery can do to kind of help with our mental happiness, which I think is so huge. And we're even going to share some success stories that I love. You just kind of shared with me in the commercial break. I love hearing those. But what is it about cosmetic surgery that can really help change someone's mental state of mind?
Yeah, well, those of us in the field for a while, it's not a surprise that, you know, when people look better, they feel better. But there's been some interesting studies that have sort of validated that suspicion. 2 of them in particular, one that had 500 patients, and they interviewed the patients extensively before the procedures, and then at 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months after the procedure, and found that most of the patients felt healthier, they felt more attractive, they reported higher self-esteem and less anxiety. So overall, just felt a lot better about themselves.
A winning combination,
right.
More self-esteem, less anxiety. And I'd imagine, you know, when you're feeling good, you feel like you can conquer the world. You do more. You live life more.
Absolutely, absolutely. You like to, you know, see what you're looking at in the mirror. You know, that makes you feel good inside. And so the second study was done in Europe, and there were 100 patients, and their conclusions were that the patients, again, had surveys before and after, and a year after, reported a much higher quality of life. And they did a depression score, which rates sort of how much depression you have throughout the day in your life. And those scores were much lower a year after their procedures, which meant, again, they were in a better frame of mind and a healthier, happier
I like that
attitude.
That's kind of a long stay, too. It's not just, you know, a week or 2 after surgery that, you know, they kind of visited them, you know, several months afterwards, and they're still feeling just as good.
Right, right. So it's nice to see in a more scientific way sort of that validated that, yes, in fact, this can have a really positive impact on your outlook on life and how you feel about yourself.
But like we said, I mean, you knew that kind of based on the people that you've been able to help and the lives you've been able to change. Tell me about this one woman you were telling me about in the commercial break. I'd like our viewers to hear this.
Yeah, this is a great story. It was a few years back, but I had a woman come in, and she, you know, we were talking about rejuvenation. You know, she really was in her early 70s and really needed a facelift and a brow lift. I mean, the things that could really help her look younger. And it turns out, once I got to know her, she said, well, you know, I was kind of downsized out of my position. I was selling furniture, and they, you know, basically I think that they replaced me with a younger person because they felt I looked too old. Right. So anyway, we did the procedure, and she had a great result, looked 50. I mean, she looked 20 years younger, and she went and got a job making twice as much money with the competitor of the people that had let her go. So it was,
life is really good sometimes.
It was good, and she said, you know, once in a while coworkers would say, you know, how old are you? You must be 52. And she'd like, well, something like that. She never told. So that's a wonderful story. Yeah,
is that why, you know, that I'd imagine has to keep you going every day in what you do, and, you know, the rewarding part of it where you can see the before and after and how they feel. Yeah,
I mean, it is happy medicine, really. I do like that part of it because, you know, we do, you know, deal with happy people that want to live more fully, and when you can help somebody look better, it can make a huge impact in their life, and that's very exciting for all of us.
Well, and I would imagine, too, just here in Southwest Florida, where, you know, people live in our area a very active lifestyle no matter what your age is. So I'd imagine you see that a lot where people are a little bit older in age, but they're still young and healthy and want to keep going, living their life.
Yeah, the common thing you hear is I'm healthy and I'm feeling active and feeling great, but when I look in the mirror, what I see doesn't match the way I feel inside. And so that's a big part of it because we're living fuller lives, we're working longer, you know, many patients working into their 70s and even 80s now, and they want to look good. And so that's part of where cosmetic surgery comes in.
And the other great thing about it, too, is this is the time to come in and figure out what's available, because there are so many options, no matter what your age is or kind of what you need done. there's really kind of something for everybody these days.
There really is, and that's because there's so much more we can do in the office without surgery. You know, the lasers and the injectables, the Botox and fillers. So that's really nice. So there is something for everybody, both price point and of all ages as well.
You have 2 offices here in Southwest Florida, which I think is great because really, you know, wherever you live, whatever corner of Southwest Florida, it's pretty easy to find you. And I know you recommend for people to come in and meet you, have a consultation, maybe come to you with some of those concerns. This is, you know, what I'm not happy with.
Yeah, that's the best way because there is so much available. You know, coming in for a consultation, at which we waive the fee if you've seen the Fox show, then we can kind of outline all the things that could be helpful, from skincare and products to light lasers to surgical procedures if appropriate. And that's helpful just to have that template. Then you know what your options are going forward, and you can choose a plan that makes sense for you. Okay, well, we love having you here. You make me happy. I like learning more about what you do, and certainly those feel-good stories about who you've been able to help. And again, for any more information on Dr. Flaherty and his office or his offers, just head to our website, fox4morningblend.com. And speaking of offer, here is this morning's. For this month, you can get $100 off of Botox products and fillers with nurse injector Britton Stein. You will love her. Again, there is the number to call and take advantage of that.
One last look at your Fox forecast, and then we'll be right back.